This little video is going to be about working the flower on my little knitted unicorn. It's quite an easy thing to do, but it was just a bit hard to describe in writing, so I thought I'd show it on a video. So first, you cast on 4 stitches on your needles just in the normal way, and then what you need to do is just cast or bind these stitches off. Effectively, you really actually bind off 3, that's 2, and 3. So you're left with just 1 stitch on your needle. Now that little shape, that little ridge, forms the first petal. But at the top, it's quite untidy. I used to knit a row of these and then gather along this top edge to form them into a flower, but I found a better way of doing it, okay? So you do is you take your needle into your first cast on stitch, which is actually your slip stitch, and you knit it like that, and then you pass this stitch, which is the one remaining from casting off, over the stitch just worked. So you've got a really neat little petal shape there. Okay, now you transfer this needle from your right hand needle to your left, and you cast on another 3 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3. And then you cast them straight off again. So that's 1, 2, 3. The last one's always a bit tricky. So there you'll see your neat first petal and your somewhat less neat second petal. Now, what I do now is I take my right hand needle, the tip of my right hand needle, back into that bottom point on the first petal. Then I knit it, so I have 2 stitches on my needle like that, and then take the cast off, or the stitch remaining from casting off, over. So I now have 2 neat petals. I'm really just repeating that process until I've got 5 petals, okay? So I'm going to take you through it just to make sure it's clear. So take the stitch onto my left hand needle, cast on 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and cast them, bind them straight off again. 1, 2, 3, and you'll see that. So I've got the 2 neat petals on the left here, and on the right the one I've just worked, which has got this open bit. So I close that by knitting into the base of the other 2 petals, and I think by now it's done that very well, becoming clear that the place where I'm knitting into is becoming the centre of the flower. So that's 3 petals. I have 2 more to go. So 1, 2, 3, and then I'll cast them off again. 1, 2, 3. There you see, so I've got the 3 there and 1 there. Go into the centre there. knit that and then pass my cast off stitch over. Now I've got 4, last one coming up, 1, 2, 3, and cast them off, 1, 2, 3. So I've now got the 4 petals plus my final petal still on my right hand needle. So I take that into the centre, knit it and pass the cast on stitch over. And I break that, just get that back into the picture. Then I can just, fasten off in the normal way, just pulling the broken thing through, and there you have a little flower. If you look at the one on my unicorn, you can see I've just added a little French knot, this little yellow thing in the centre here for the flower centre. And the other thing, if your flower, I mean actually this looks to come out well, but if you're not completely happy with the shape, you can soak it in water and just sort of pull those into a nice little petal shape when it's damp and leave it to dry. Obviously this will go through the back when you sew it on the unicorn. So as always, please get in touch with me via my website fionagoble.com if you would like me to go through any techniques in the unicorn project or any of my other projects. Thanks for watching.